Welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, Quincy, great show so far. And I got to ask you guys something. You think there are times in our lives when we all need the guidance of an expert?
Yes, daily, trying to get out of bed. Yes.
Agreed.
But no, on a serious note, if you're involved in an immigration case in this country, you really need a professional to help you through that very complicated process. So our next guest specializes in immigration law in Virginia. Please welcome Hugo Valverde to Main Street Living. Hugo, thanks so much for making time for us today.
Oh, no problem. Great being here today with you guys.
So obviously every immigration story is very personal to each person, each family. Could you tell us a little bit about your family's path to living in the United States?
Yes, my family's from Peru, and we came here a while ago. I don't want to show my age, but it was during a time when Peru was under a military dictatorship, and my dad was basically fleeing the dictatorship. They had an arrest warrant out for him in Peru, and so we came to the U.S. to seek safety, basically, and so that's kind of how our story began, and my father started out, doing the things a lot of immigrants do when they get here, cleaning bathrooms, working in restaurants and things like that. But we've been very blessed, or my family's been very blessed, since we've come here to the States many years ago.
Well, I understand that when you came here, you were pursuing the American dream and a successful career when the 9/11 terror attacks happened, which, the 20-year anniversary is crazy.
Yes.
It was, just recently. How did that change your path overall?
Yeah, so September 11th was a huge landmark in my life because before that point, and it's hard to believe it's been 20 years already, but before that point, I was working in the environmental field. I was working in the government. And September 11th really changed things for me because I think it probably changed things for a lot of people, right? But when I saw what happened after September 11th, and I saw the anti-immigrant sentiment that was kind of developing after that event, I felt a call in a way to help that community, the immigrant community, which I myself, of course, was a part of. And so the following year, that was September 11th, the following August, I was going to law school, so that was a huge event for me. Yeah, September 11th.
Oh, wow. So you weren't even already working in law. You decided, I have to get into this now. And what was it specifically that drew you to immigration law? I mean, obviously where your family came from and everything that happened with 9/11. Was there anything else?
That's what it was. I kind of assessed, who I was and kind of what I could offer, and I felt like that community is what I related to the most, and I felt like I could help the most. So yeah, it was a key event for me, and at that point in time, I felt called, to serve in immigration law, going to law school. And I've been doing it. I graduated from law school, and I've been doing immigration law ever since. So it's been a fun ride.
Yeah, and I know with law, I mean, not that I know law, but I know with law.
I'm going to say, Quincy, please.
So many different variations, right? So what are some of the areas that you specialize in that our viewers can be aware of?
Sure. Yeah, immigration law is a niche practice area, in the legal field. But what a lot of people don't realize is that within that niche, there's a lot of sub niches.
Right.
So there's what's considered family-based immigration law, which is where maybe somebody gets married, and they want to apply for permanent residence for their spouse, or maybe for their parent or their child. Fiance visas, fall into that category. Then there's also employment-based immigration, where there is a U.S. corporation that wants to hire a foreign national, and in order to do so, they need to go through the proper, paperwork and immigration process, and so they need help, navigating through that process, which can be very complicated. There's also removal defense, so within immigration law, which involves defending people from deportation. And there's actually an immigration court that handles those proceedings. It's an administrative court. The court for our state is located in Arlington, Virginia.
Okay.
And And then we also have humanitarian side of immigration law, which can include asylum or visas for victims of trafficking, human trafficking, or domestic violence. And so it's a very broad area of law to get in.
And then it just breaks down.
It does. And there's some attorneys that just focus on specific areas of immigration law.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, you obviously are providing a lot of support to people and events in your community. What are some of the things that you support that are most important to you?
Well, in the Hispanic community, or at least the part of South America where I'm from, soccer is huge, right? It's a huge it's a huge passion for a lot of people. So early on, in my practice, I made that I used that as a focal point in my involvement in the community. And so I started, it's funny because I actually started, there was a community event that was between the police and the Hispanic community, and they'd play a soccer game. And so I participated in that soccer match. I was out there, just to be seen and let people know, hey, I'm here. But it was fun because I got to play with a lot of those people in that community. Then from there, and so I've done a couple of those events. I met a coach, the soccer coach for Virginia Wesleyan University, which is a university here in Virginia Beach. And we had this great idea that, hey, they do a soccer camp every year, which is an awesome soccer camp. I mean, I sent my own kids to that soccer camp, and it's really good. Like, kids have so much fun. He's like, hey, we should really promote this in the Hispanic community. I'm like, you're absolutely right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sponsor these kids, to go and participate in your soccer camp. And so every year, we've done this for over 10 years now. And every year people call about it, like, hey, are you, they call the office, like, are you doing the soccer camps this year? Are you doing the soccer camps this year? It's become very popular. It's really fun because, just seeing the little the kids, they always have a great time, and it's also promoting, it's kind of tying into a little bit into what they probably feel at home, to soccer, that because I know probably their parents are probably fans, and they themselves are fans. But also it's good because it's good for physical fitness and those health benefits as well. So
be honest with us, Hugo. Were you playing against the kids? Is that why you were having so much fun?
Well, I didn't want to release that detail, but there's a funny story with that game. Is that I was playing, and actually I had sprained my ankle during the game, and so I went off on the sideline, and it's funny. I was just sitting on the sideline, and a lot of the other players on the team like, hey, since you don't need your cleats anymore, can I wear them? And so we passed around the cleats a couple times in that game, but it was fun. Yeah.
Good. Well, definitely good to hear that you're doing all these things to give back. And really quick, how can our viewers get in touch with you?
Oh, sure. Yeah, they can obviously get in touch with us on the web, valverdelaw.com, or on Facebook at Hugo Valverde. And also on Instagram, Valverde_law. They can also call us at 757-422-8472, or send us a text message there as well. So pretty accessible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you guys. Great to be here.
Awesome. That's so cool, Danielle. So much insight, of course, shared on today's show. And, a lot of it we just weren't aware of, right? In fact, coming up next, you got to stick around because there's Hispanic communities getting much needed assistance out in California. So there's much more to come after the break.